Yo, what's up?
I feel like this is taking way too long to do.
Good to see you, dude.
I'm so excited, I'm gonna puke.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun. Welcome to Presentation Karaoke, where business, improv, and pictures of livestock collide. The rules are simple. 7 slides, 5 minutes, go.
Well, I hope so. Let's see.
Just breathe. Just breathe. All right, Ryan. Well, I am just so excited to have you here. Let's give it up for Ryan O'Hara. All right, so Ryan, as you know, I prepared some slides for you that you've never seen before. Is that right?
I have not seen these. That is correct.
All right, well, awesome. So I titled this presentation for you, Your Email's First Impressions. And
I love that.
With that, you've got 7 slides, and I'm going to be hitting the forward button when I think it's time, and we'll circle back at the end. So best of luck to you, Ryan.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening today. So one of the things that I think is really important is when you're going and reaching out to people, one of the things I think that's gotten lost over the years is people forget that you need to have good first impressions with your emails. And it could be marketing emails, sales emails, prospecting emails, cold emails, whatever you're doing here. I think there's this problem right now where people aren't treating it like you're walking into someone in real life and talking to them, or walking into an elevator and talking to them. That's an important part of this, is you want to try and figure out a way to make a good first impression. If you're interrupting someone and hitting their inbox, you got to be able to do that. So if you look at what it could be right now. Every email that you do, you could have research that you've done ahead of time, so that it makes it feel like you're actually talking about the person. A good example would be if I'm writing a cold email to someone, I might think about, like, what things have they done in their life? Have they posted anything interesting on social? What problems are they dealing with? What companies do they work for? What companies did they work for? What mutual connections do we have? These are all things that you could bring up in a cold email and make it feel like you're doing something special for them and making them feel good. And a good cold email isn't just you talking about your product or your service or any of that stuff. What you're really doing with a good cold email is you're talking about them. You're not proving my product's great, please buy my product, or please talk to me about my product. What you're doing is you're writing a cold email proving that prospect's special to you. You're a GM of a sports team trying to get them to sign a contract. So things you want to avoid: don't talk about yourself too much. Some of the other things that you can do, you can really focus on making your emails short, but don't just go pitching your product. That's not what you want to do when you're doing this stuff with cold email. Instead, you want to focus heavily on your prospect. Talk about them. Talk about their issues. I think another thing you could do is don't introduce yourself. Don't put deceptive subject lines that throw people off. Like, don't write something that's, like, hey, Doug, your kids are sick. Like, if I go and cold called someone and said, hey, you talked to a gatekeeper, and I'm like, hey, this is actually the school. I wanted to know if Doug is there. And then you call Doug, it's the nurse's office, and then he answers, and it's a sales rep. Doug's gonna be pissed off, and you're starting your relationship off on the wrong foot. You want to start a good relationship with people. Also use human speak. So don't use words like best regards. Don't use words like you're introducing yourself. It's a pleasure to meet with you. Look at this email right here. Hi, Doug. It's a pleasure to meet with you. If I read that right away, I know it's a sales email. I'm going to hit the delete button and not read it. That's kind of the dilemma here, is you need to figure out a way to do that. Also, there's nothing about Doug in this email. I see emails like this all the time. I don't know if you know about me, but I'd wanted to see if you wanted to check out our services. Doug doesn't know anything about you, and you haven't proven that Doug's important to you. You just look like a machine that sent and ripped off 1,000 of the same emails over and over again. And you don't want to do that, especially in this day of all these things. So some ways that you can target people better. I think it's a good idea to try and pick people that fit into your obvious ideal buyer persona. But you want to also look at people that you have something in common with. If I have a VP of sales, I saw the VPs of sales at LeadIQ. I have a VP of sales that likes Point Break. I love the original Point Break. Don't see the remake. It sucks. If I have someone that likes the original Point Break that is maybe a director level, and a VP of sales that I have nothing in common with, go with the person you have something in common with. Personalization and cold emailing isn't just about making a first impression that's showing that you care about them. It's also about showing that you're extraordinary too. You're worth a damn. You're worth having the time to talk to someone. You want to focus on making friends with people, because if you make friends with people, they'll do things for you. I have this thing I made up. I call it pickup truck guy theory. There are 2 types of people in this world. There are people that drive pickup trucks, and there are people that have to move shit for their friends all the time because you have a pickup truck. The reason that we do that is because we don't like saying no to people we like. Literally, the TV show Curb Your Enthusiasm is all based on this. Like, it's based on Larry David getting stuck doing situations for his celebrity friends that he doesn't want to do and trying to figure out a way to get out of them. And that part of that is because he's friends with these people and he cares about them. And you want to make it so that your customers care about you while making things entertaining at the same time. So that's kind of typically how it works. If you want to go, thank you. That was cool.
Well done, Ryan. Woo-hoo!
I like the ocean spray background too for my name. That was cool.
Yeah, I like the captain's hat. So what do you think? What did you get out of this presentation karaoke experience?
Well, the switch was really hard. That was definitely the hardest part. But I think that it helps a lot to just sometimes not necessarily lie and hug the slides and just talk about things that you know from your personal experience. Like for me, I was just thinking about what are things that I tell my guys here on the floor all the time when they're having trouble with cold emailing. And I took a personal experience and applied it to speaking about it instead of hugging onto a script or points. Like there are things that we know and regurgitate over and over and over again throughout our lives that could be useful and things that you could talk about in a presentation. I think that too many people stay too scripted. It's good to be prepared, obviously, but I think that what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have some time to just be able to be real and go act like when someone's doing a presentation, you're moving the curtain and telling them what's going on behind the scenes for them.
I love that. I love that because it's almost like you're with them looking at the presentation together instead of you being the presentation. I like that one of the slides you had an example because it let me talk about what not to do. And right.
Sometimes it's a very helpful idea to have slides that aren't a list of text with bullets and what not to do. Instead, having a visual and then talking through that visual is a lot better.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, you did a great job on this show. Thanks for joining the Presentation Karaoke Show. And if anyone watching wants to be on the Presentation Karaoke Show, there's the link below. Just click to apply. Thanks again, Ryan.